Let's return to the NFL, which is exactly what Antonio Brown is trying to do. After spending most of last season in limbo, AB might finally have a couple teams willing to take a chance on him. Reportedly, the Ravens and Seahawks have both been discussing signing the troubled receiver. We're joined now by a man I used to kill it on Madden with, big bro, LaVar Arrington. But Marcellus, I'll start with you. It's been a roller coaster for AB this past year. You think a team should take a chance on him?
What Ice Cube say in the beginning of What Can I Do? Hell yeah, and they are. Think about this, the risk-reward relationship in AB and that potential. Like AB, a future Hall of Famer, is sitting on the shelf somewhere. And I'm going to tell you something candidly, America, about football and inside a general manager's mind. A football player that great in potential doesn't die in your head. He dies on the field, even if he's killed someone off the field, if you understand where I'm coming from. A coach, a general manager wants to exhaust all of your ability on the field. And we've seen it play out with countless number of people who've had indiscretions and still found themselves on a football field. I found myself in that same situation as well. When I was coming down the hill, coming down the mountain with no brakes, fast, left San Diego, went to Dallas. Bill Parcells was like, hey, I heard this. I heard you kind of getting low. The tank is a little empty. We're going to figure it out. I died on that field. And then Jacksonville tried to resuscitate me for 2 years and say, no, he ain't dead yet. We're going to make sure.
Wake up, Marcellus.
Wake up, Marcellus.
Wake up.
I ain't doing damn thing in Jayville. The point is, you know how far AB is from me in Jacksonville, and I was still getting gigs? Trust me, he's still on the good side of the risk-reward relationship. He'll have a job.
Yeah, I certainly believe that he's going to have a job. He should have an opportunity, and he will have an opportunity. There are two reasons why I think, very simple reasons why I think he will. One, the only real headline we've heard of AB this offseason is what? Country Prime, which is a great headline. It's not a bad headline. Right. So when you think about the fact that quiet makes for comfort, right? The more quiet AB is, the more comfortable these GMs and decision makers are going to be with bringing AB around. Now, the second point is it's kind of interesting because I'll use an example to lead into what I just mentioned about Country Prime. In Rocky IV, there was a dude by the name of Tony Evers. They called him the Duke, all right? He was the trainer to one Apollo Creed, all right? The bald-headed dude, we all know who he was. Yes. Throw the goddamn towel, right, there you go, okay? Here's the reason why that man is important. Because Deion Country Prime Sanders is Tony Duke Evers to AB Rocky Balboa going into the Soviet Union to fight Ivan Drago, right? The old Rocky was retired. He was chilling, wasn't in the profession, and needed that fire and needed that guidance to get himself back on that right track. Yeah. So right now, I'm giving all of the advocacy points, all of the credit to, obviously to Antonio Brown, but I'm giving it to Prime for being that person that actually will show and put his own reputation on the line, which is important here. For Deion to put his reputation on the line for him, I think is a big move, and I think it'll be ultimately the reason why AB has this opportunity to get back.
Gentlemen, y'all driving me crazy.
Oh, here you go.
Gentlemen.
First day already?
Gentlemen.
Tripping.
LaVar, you said that, you know, AB hasn't been in the headlines all offseason. We're in the middle of a national pandemic. I would hope that AB wouldn't make the headlines over the coronavirus.
Good point.
Let's not assume.
That's what I would hope.
They got a point. They got a point.
But let me do this. Let me make something abundantly clear first and foremost. AB over the course of the last decade, 1,500 yards, 1,700 yards, 1,800 yards, 1,500 yards, 1,300 yards, 1,300 yards. So let me make abundantly clear his skill level. Now, with all that being said, you don't take a chance on AB right now, especially not if you're the Seahawks or the Ravens. Why? If you're the Ravens, you already got Hollywood Brown, a speedster out there receiver. But beyond that, you barely use your receivers because you got a running back, you drafted another running back, you got tight ends galore, and if you want to throw the ball out wide, like I just said, you got Hollywood Brown. If you're the Seahawks, you have Jesus and Russell Wilson at quarterback. I mean, you literally have a man who is the most clean-cut, well represented, no issues on or off the field guy at your quarterback, and you're going to bring in AB. It just doesn't make sense. Not because AB is not talented. AB is freak talented. To me, he's the best receiver of the 2010s. He's the best receiver of the last decade. But if there can be addition by subtraction, gentlemen, there can also be subtraction by addition.
Boy, you went the converse on me.
And I think that AB would be some level of subtraction by addition.
LaVar, get him, please.
You want me to handle this?
Handle this, homie.
I'm going to handle this. When was the last time, Mr. Young Macho Acho, have you heard of there being too much talent on one team?
Yeah.
All right, you just named Hollywood. Give me the other one. Give me the other playmaker.
Willie
Give me the other one.
You better recognize.
Give me the other one.
Keep going.
Snead can play.
He's a baller. But they ain't using
neither one are one AB. You bring in a guy like AB, you can use him. Even if the role is minimized, the amount of talent that you have. And you use the pandemic, and I'm glad you used that because it's interesting. The point of the pandemic actually works to someone like AB's his advantage. And this is the reason why. You have less time to prepare. That means that all these young receivers that everybody's looking at that they're going to be depending on, they're going to be behind the learning curve. Ooh. And if you understand this game of the NFL football, you got to be prepared to be able to play at a high level against these veterans out there. Well, how do you offset something like that? Not having all the time that you need to do the mini camps and the OTAs and all those different prep periods. You bring in a veteran. And you bring in somebody who understands what it means to win. And somebody like AB, where he's at right now, this pandemic actually works in his favor and his advantage to get an opportunity because of that veteran knowledge of what he brings to the table.
Let me keep it simple. Russell Wilson likes plays to break down. AB is a mother on his initial route. On play breakdown, alternate route, covering AB in that offense.
Strength.
Lord, are you kidding me? Acho, they're going to sign him. They need it.
Here's my thing, gentlemen. LaVar, you talked about a team can't have too much talent. I believe the 2011 Dream Team Eagles would make an argument about maybe a team can't have too much talent, too many distractions.
I know. No.
He doing research. I mean,
No.
What you going for?
The Eagles were no good until they won that first Super Bowl. That Dream Team was not qualified. I'm sorry. Not with Reggie White. Not with Randall Cunningham. None of them. Totally disqualified.
Look, we're going to continue this one later.
Yeah, we are.